that said, let's get our guest speaker up here. This gentleman has been a great speaker, and I've always enjoyed him. That's why I've always had him come back year after year. It's our second and a half year on this. I just love the way he breaks things down. He was an actor in Hollywood at one point, worked at a bar. I can't believe, well, he's got a personality. He's got an outgoing personality. So yes, a great father. You guys see some of the pictures we show of him and his daughter all the time traveling. Our last one was a cruise. Prior to that was in the Bahamas and on and on. And you could tell he's such a great guy that the co-founders discovered that his talents lie better on the stage because he's such a great presenter, and he's what I call the co-founders go-to. Without further ado, my dear friend, and I hope you guys, a lot of guys, new folks on here, will get to enjoy it for your first time, and many of us been back many times before. But can we give a warm welcome to Regional Vice President, the great Mr. Dean Tarrolly?
What is up, Mr. Thomas? What's going on? So I gave a lot of thought to what we went over last week, and I didn't have a chance because Mr. Thomas was traveling. I didn't have a chance just to like say a few words about him. And so, and some of you are newer, understand that Al does this call 5 days a week, and it is open to everyone. So you do not have to be on his team to be on this call, number one. Number two, he wants to do everything he can to see everybody win. Number three, he's accomplished so much, not only in ACN and in network marketing, but outside of it. He doesn't really need to do this, but a leader would never say that. He would say he's obligated to do this because he wants to give back to the people that are serious about this business. And they're just things that I have a lot of respect for. We become great friends over the years. I will let you know, even as a regional vice president, I have sought his counsel about things in my business, what I need to do, how to be able to take my business to the next level and help the people on my team. So Mr. T, I appreciate you. You know I do. I don't know how or why you have me back doing this now, going into what, 3 years of doing every other month on Thursdays. But you know, y'all are stuck with me for another, I don't know, 20 or so minutes. So here we go. So yeah. So what did we name last week? Or this month, we called it Accomplish April. Accomplish April. What are we going to accomplish? Right. And man, that's an important word, because when you talk about accomplishing something, what it really means is that you found a way to get documented. There's something that got documented in your business, right? Whether it's acquiring more customers, getting more team members, whatever the case may be, you accomplish something. So it's a trackable, traceable, provable thing that happened. More customers hit your business. More team members join the team, more people registered for the events. All of those things are trackable components of our business. So those things are a great barometer. They're a great way to figure out what we have accomplished. But you can't really accomplish those things without skill. So what did we actually go over last week? Really simple. Last week we talked about, number one, educating yourself. Number two, we talked about having some practice time. Right? You guys, we're in the NBA playoffs now. Let me tell you something. These guys don't just show up, right? I remember the famous quote, right, by Allen Iverson. And for those of you who know who Allen Iverson is, one of the best to ever play. For those of you who don't, man, go look him up. Man, the guy was unbelievable. One of the shortest guys on the court all the time, and one of the biggest players. And there was this famous press conference, and this guy goes, this guy said, "Hey, man, well, Allen, what about practice?" And he kind of like smirked. He goes, "Practice? We're talking about practice?" Well, let me tell you why he was able to say that. Because as a professional who accomplished a ton, not only in college, but in the NBA, he's practiced. He's put that time in. He's put the hours in. One of the things I said to you guys last week was you don't sweat the test if you've done the homework, right? If you've done the homework, you don't sweat the test. If you've done if you have gone out and tried to acquire 5 customers, 8 customers, 10 customers, 20 customers, 30 customers. I'm telling you, the 31st time you do it is completely different than the first, second, or third time. I'm also telling you, if you go out and pique people's interest, you're in phase 1, you're personally piquing, personally recruiting. You're starting to, maybe you have been in ACN for a while and you kind of took your foot off the gas and now you're coming back, and it's kind of like going to the gym again, right? I know we use a lot of gym analogies, but they really are accurate. And you got to kind of get yourself back into that activity right? So I was thinking about this a lot this week. And so what does it always come down to, right? So there's a few things. So you can write these down if you choose to. I'm a big fan of notes. I always have notes ready for you guys. So one of the things I'll tell you is this: what gets prioritized gets accomplished. Is it a priority for you this week to get through the next level of customer points to change your residual? Is it a priority for you, right? If it is, if you've prioritized it, you'll get it accomplished. Okay. Identifying what needs to be accomplished. Maybe you're sitting at 20, 30, 40, 50 personal customer points, but you haven't had a person join your team or even look at the business in a month or two. Well, I would prioritize putting yourself back out there, right? You have to put yourself back out there. You have to put yourself in the game to give yourself the best chance to have a conversation with someone that might be open to looking at what it is that we're doing. Now, I think everybody's open, right? I think everybody wants and needs an opportunity. Guys, I had a conversation with a gentleman in the financial world this week, and he said, look, I'm not a scare person. I'm just telling you what the man told me. He said, the way things are going, 2008 might look like a cakewalk with things that are happening, things that are going on in the markets that we know about and that we don't know about. Right. So to me, here's what that says. All that says to me is be ready. Be prepared. Don't start something when that ball drops. If it does, have something already moving, already going forward. Right. So what are the things that you want to accomplish? What's moving you forward towards your goals? I just told you one for me. I mean, it's crazy what could be happening. I want to make sure that we have leaders that are up and running and producing and are capable. So I want you guys to write this down. Number one, am I capable? What does that mean? Am I do I have the capability to acquire customers, to effectively pique someone's interest? How about this? This is a big one. To present the business. That's what I trained on at the National. Do you have the ability to do those things? Are you capable? That goes back to what we talked about last week, educating yourself and getting some practice time. You guys see how this month is all going to fit together, but it always, always, always comes down to one thing. It always comes down to one thing every day in ACN. Here's what it comes down to. Sorry, I had to cough you up there for a second. Might do that a couple more times. Here's what I want you to know. It always, always, always comes down to the same thing. Action. I would rather have someone take action without knowing everything than have someone feel like they have to wait to know everything before they take action. Like get in the mix. You guys heard me say this last week. Make sure you hear the letter when I say it. Like, go out there and muck it up. Muck it up. It's okay. There's a lot of people to talk to out there, right? The old thing, we can't say the wrong thing to the right person, can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So what's going to move you? What's going to move me? What's going to move Al? What's going to move Mary Elizabeth, Paul? What's going to move Roxanne? What's going to move Sharian from inactivity to activity? What is it? We know what the activities are: getting a customer, piquing interest, and promoting the events. And in fact, I'm going to stop for a second. Al, people can, I don't know if you have it set up where people can unmute or not unmute, or they can put it in the chat. It doesn't matter to me, but I want to take a second and I want to hear or read what somebody on the call thinks, or any number of people on the call thinks, going to move someone from inactivity to activity. Notice I didn't say whether or not there was an end result of the customer signing up. I didn't say that someone was joining your team, because you can't get a customer and you can't have someone join the team without the activity first. There it is. Okay, it's action. What's going to move someone? Okay, so Deborah, I'm glad that you sharing information. That's a great one. Are you out there sharing? Not convincing. Are you sharing what it is that we're doing? Anybody else? A strong reason why, Jackie? Absolutely. If your reason why can't move you into the mall, can't move you into the store, can't move you into the coffee shop, then you got to maybe look at what you want to accomplish out of this thing. Right? I mean, that's important. You know, the overwhelming majority of people don't really want to go to the gym every day, but man, if they do it consistently for a month or 2 or 3, they love how they look. So the result justified the goal, justified the action. So for a lot of people, I don't know, because I don't know most of you. I mean, I guess we kind of know each other from Zoom, some of you, but there's a lot of new people on here. What does it mean if you have an extra $300 to $500 a month come in? Now, that's not financial independence, but for a lot of people, that's some bill paying money, yes or no? You know, when people talk about the crazy amounts of like the crazy incomes that can be accomplished in a great networking business that's done well with customers being acquired, it's awesome. But you know what? How about the reality of a new guy or a new gal or a couple joining the team, and we help that brand new person make $1,500 in their first month, make $1,000 in their first month, make $750 in their first month. How about they make their money back? How about they're in the black within their first 30 days? Is that a win? Better believe it. Well, if that's a win, now throw on an extra bonus of $200. Now throw on an extra bonus of $300, $400, $500 because people are joining the team and we're helping them acquire customers. Now what we're doing is we're building a story that's set up on solid ground, but it always comes back to the exact same thing. It is from this week until next Thursday, there's going to be one of two categories of people. I'm just telling you how it is. See, Mr. Thomas, now I'm getting all wound up and you know, I only got 10 minutes left, getting all wound up. Here's the point. These next 7 days, you will either fall into the category of action or you will fall into the category of inaction. You are either moving or you are static. You did not do anything. Now, the great thing about ACN, you don't get kicked out. You know, it's not like a job. You know, if you choose not to show up, you guys, if you choose not to show up to your job, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to get called into the office, and if it happens more than 1 or 2 times, you're going to get fired. Yes or no? True or false? True. Don't mean to make this sound like 3rd grade. Geez, Dean, this is simple, but I'm letting you know it's important because see, you can go a week in ACN without any activity, any action, no customers, no presentations, no new people, nobody registered for the events. Right? Nobody coming to Lake Tahoe. We have a lot of people coming to our Lake Tahoe leadership that takes place May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm going to show you the flyer at the end because I'm telling you right now, to me, it is one of the single most important events that anybody can attend, period. It's completely locker room. Mr. Thomas has been to that event. We're so thrilled to have him, man. It meant a lot to myself. It meant a lot to Mike Pasuti, right? I'm just telling you right now that it is action that by the way, write this down. Action crushes fear. I don't even have that in my notes, but I'm telling you it's the truth. And most fears are unrealized, but action crushes fear. Right? You might be afraid of how to approach someone, or should you approach someone, or can you approach someone? Can I get a customer? Can I present the business? Can I do the first few boxes in a presentation with my leader? Yes. I'm telling you, you can. You guys, look at. This is gonna. I want you to know something. I'm trying to see who all the regional directors are who are on the call. I see Rox right here, and obviously we have Al, Senior Vice President. But the point is this: guess what? Al had the first person he piqued about a networking business. He had a first person. He had a first presentation. He had a first customer. It was probably himself. You know, it's pretty easy. Roxanne had a first presentation. She had a first customer. She had that first experience. By the way, this is going to come as a shock to everybody on here. So everybody just settle in when I tell you this. But Al had his first no. Roxanne had her first no. I did. I had my first no. No, I would never. I had this. I would never do anything like that. Wow. I had no idea. You're a rotten apple wearing a red jacket. I thought you were the reddest apple around. And you're like, you understand what I mean? And sometimes people can fool you, right? It happens. It happens. But action always puts you back on track. Well, now there's 2 types of action. So let's get into this for a second with the little time I have with you guys. Let's get into it. There is consistent action and there is inconsistent action. And the very best analogy that I can give you guys about this is popcorn. And for some of you who've heard this, you know, try to listen to it with a fresh set of ears. And for those of you who haven't heard this, you know, if you're popcorn people, you'll get it. And if you're not, you'll get it. So when you take a bag of microwavable popcorn, right? You put it in the mic, just with your hands, with your fingers. Typically, when you get a bag of popcorn and you put it in the mic, you put it in the microwave, typically how many minutes are you supposed to put it in there for? How many? 3 minutes. You got it. Got it. Yep. 3 minutes. You put it in for 3 minutes. And when it's done, great. Well, here's how most people treat their ACN business. They go to a training, they look at the popcorn bag, and it says, put on high for 3 minutes. Okay, cool. So they take the bag, and it's just a bunch of seeds, right? They put it in there and they set it for 3 minutes. And sure enough, what do? About a minute into it, because they are impatient, they pull the bag out. How many kernels have popped? 0. Is the bag hot? Yes. Is it painful? God, well, honey, I'm starving. Put the bag in, you hit 3 minutes, and you're watching it, and you see, yeah, a minute didn't go by. 2 minutes, you pull it out, right? How many kernels have popped? 0. How does the bag feel? You burned yourself again. So not only is it painful because you didn't follow the system of the leader or the instructions, not only have no kernels popped, but the bag is even hotter. So now it's even more painful than it was the first time around that you didn't follow the system and follow the leadership and follow the plan and follow the system. So then you decide to put it back in again. And this time you're actually going to follow the what? You're going to follow the directions. You're going to follow the directions. Now, do you have to exercise a little bit of patience? Yes. Should you have learned a lesson from the burning sensation on your fingers? Yes. Yes. But here's what happens this time. You put it in 1 minute. It feels like it's going forever. 2 minutes. Oh my God. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And you're like, you know what? This is a load of crap. This thing isn't working. There's nothing is popped. This thing doesn't work. My leader's not showing up. The presentation doesn't work. Nobody's joining the team. I have no kernels of popcorn that have popped. This is ridiculous. And then at about 2 minutes and 50 seconds, it's like a freaking nuclear explosion in the bag, and all the kernels pop, and now you're starting to salivate. It sounds so good because you got some really cool flavor, like you got buttered garlic and whatever, and you can't wait to dive into that bag. And after the 3 minutes is up, here's what's crazy. The microwave stops. Listen to me. The microwave, this is so important. The microwave stops, but there's still kernels popping. The work is done. And there's still kernels popping. So I want you guys to think about this. Here's the moral to the story. Now I'm hungry. This is ridiculous. Here's the moral to, that's not the moral to the story. Here's the moral to the story. From the very first second you put the bag in the microwave to the 360th second, no, to the 180th second, right? 60 seconds in a minute, 3 minutes, 180 seconds. From second number 1 to second number 180. I want you guys to really hear what I'm saying right now. The microwave never worked harder at any point in that time. From the first minute all the way to the last, from the first second all the way to the last second, the microwave was consistent the entire time. It didn't all of a sudden, like the heat didn't turn up, the power didn't get bigger. It stayed consistent from the first second to the last second. And because you stayed with the program, you didn't pull the bag out, you didn't alter the system that the leader's teaching you, you get these results, and the results can even continue to go. That's our business. So I have a couple screenshots to show you guys. I know I've been doing like a lot of videos the last year or two, but I found this set of screenshots and I want to show this to you. And I think it's really, really good. So you guys can take pictures of it if you want, but I want you to know something. Think about this, the point of the microwave. Consistent action requires habits of behavior and habits of thought. So I'm going to give you guys this. I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I think it's really good. We're going to cover a few things in it. And cool. How about this? Got to replace some habits. Instead of Netflix marathons, how about some sleep? Instead of fast food, homemade food. Man, I have a friend that gives me grief about this all the time. I got to get better at part number 2, and I know it. Instead of toxic friends, you have mentors. Instead of TV, go out and exercise. Instead of complaining, how about gratitude? Instead of overthinking, there it is, take action. Instead of blame, take responsibility for the things going on in our businesses and in our lives, right? Next, the new mindset. Your ego, let's kill it. Doesn't mean don't be proud of what you're doing. It means an unhealthy ego. Kill it, love, value it, smile, keep it, gossip, ignore it, success, achieve it, jealousy, distance it, knowledge, acquire it. That's why we're on these calls with Mr. Thomas. And confidence, you got to trust it. You're a brand new person, man. Have some confidence. Have some confidence that you have a team of people ready and willing to help you at any time, at all times. How about this? You're tired, turn off the phone, go to sleep. You're uninspired, take a shower, engage all your senses. Self-doubt, journal, allow a stream of consciousness to flow for you. That's not about anybody else. That's for you to be able to go back. Depressed, take a walk in nature, spend time with pets or with some friends, right? I have some people in my life that are actually really, really good at that, right? You need 5 hobbies. 1 to make you money, 1 to keep you in shape, 1 to keep you creative, 1 to build your knowledge, and 1 to evolve your mindset. Now, how great if you're lucky enough to stumble across a business like our business where you can do a lot of these things together. You can wrap them up into one thing, okay? Happy people, right? They don't show off, they talk less, they learn daily, they help others, they laugh more, and they ignore other people's judgments. I got to tell you, the second to the last one is a big one for me, man. If I'm not having fun and I'm not laughing, I get bored. And if I get bored, I'm gonna go do something else. And man, laughter, that may be, you know, sometimes we just got to take ourselves, our circumstances, the situations that we're in, just we just maybe got to not take ourselves so seriously and just kind of laugh through it, man. You just got to, a lot of times it makes the biggest difference, right? So those are some characteristics of happy people, and your mindset's a magnet. If you think of blessings, you attract blessings. If you think of problems, you attract problems, but you want to always try to cultivate good thoughts and always remain positive and optimistic. You know, I remember hearing a leader years ago say, you know how you do well in our business, and I'm sure that this also applies to life, but how you do well in our business, you're having a bad day, you're having a crap day, you're having a day, I didn't say it, but you guys know what the word was. You're having one of those days, right? And nobody knows it. You walk into a meeting, no one can tell. Like, you hang that hat on the outside, leave it in the car, and you come in and, man, it is like, you know, you're having a home meeting and you think that there's going to be 10, 15 guests. There's 1 guest. Man, 1 guest. This is freaking awesome. This is great. Do you understand? We're going to get this private time together. We're about to take over Vegas. We're about to take over LA. We're about to take over New York City. We're about to take over Miami Beach. We're about to take over Dallas, Texas. We're about to take over San Antonio. We're about to take over Chicago. We're about to take over Minneapolis. Me and you, let's go. Let's roll. Now, inside you go, man, I thought there's gonna be 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 people here. By the way, that 1 person could make all the difference. Treat everybody with the same amount of respect, the same, like you guys don't, by the way, please, side note, please, if you're doing a PBR or a PBZ and you're having a group meeting and you have 2 or 3 friends, you're like, well, listen, hey, just want to let you know, hey, Deb, hey, Rick, hey, Catherine, I really appreciate you guys being here. You know, Joe and Sally and Bob were supposed to be here, but, you know, they're not here. But anyway, I'm glad you guys are here. Oh my God, I would never, you know, I don't know what I'd do. I'd have a freaking meltdown. You know what it'd be like? It'd be like, hey, Rick, hey, Catherine, hey, Deborah, man, I am so glad that you guys are here. This is like VIP stuff. You guys are going to know before everybody else. All those other people, anybody who didn't make it, guess what? Not even talking about them. You guys are here and we're going to build, and you're going to override everything that we're going to do. That's how to handle that. You're angry. exercise, get a cardio workout. You're jealous, focus on yourself, your qualities, your uniqueness. And I know that there are people on this call that have unbelievable qualities and uniqueness. In fact, everybody does, the people that I know. Anxiety, be more mindful. You're irritated, widen your perspective. Believe in your heart and soul, you're capable of big things in your life. The only thing that's standing in your way is yourself. Remove your ceiling of what you think that you can accomplish. Now, I want to tell you guys something. Okay, this is important to me that you know this, that I know I just listed off all these things to you, right? I listed off these screenshots and I read them, and I may have read them to you. I may have read them to you as if I have accomplished all that. And the fact of the matter is that's just not accurate. We're all a work in progress, right? We're a work in progress, and I think it's important that people understand that we're all a work in progress, and we're allowed to be a work in progress, right? Without question or compromise. So, to me, it's just really important that everybody understands we're all in this thing together. And Mr. T, I will leave it at that. Accomplish April. Let's see what we can get done, and I will turn it back over to you.